Hey there, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Soldier in Me podcast. Today, we're talking about how to stop people pleasing. It's a thing that I struggle with, and it's okay if you struggle with it too. I hope the Soldier in Me helps bring out the soldier in you. Welcome to episode 9. Can you believe it? If you are listening on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, thank you so much for listening. If you're watching right here on YouTube, thank you for watching. You like my outfit? I got it from Shein. Shein, however people say it. But I'm super grateful to share a little bit about myself for those of you who are new. And also, if you hear my dog barking in the background, I'm trying to keep her quiet, but listen, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to keep her quiet for this entire episode. I'm on my dinner break. I only have a couple of minutes to share with you guys for today's episode. So we're gonna go ahead and get straight into it. Last episode, I told you all that I was having a hard time. I was in a rut, mentally exhausted, physically kind of drained, but this week I'm back on it. I have been going to the gym. If you're watching this, the day that I filmed this, I went to the gym that morning and I got a really good workout in. I'm feeling super pumped up, and I started thinking about what I wanted to talk about in this week's episode, and it wasn't really hard to figure it out. I am going to be talking about how to stop people pleasing. It's something that we all face. Sorry if I'm not looking at you. I'm trying to get my notes pulled up here. Okay, so I don't have my laptop today. It's dead. So I'm going to use my phone for notes. If you see me looking down, that's exactly why I'm looking down. But if you're listening, then you don't have to worry about anything at all. So people pleasing is something that is very, very common. And the root of it is insecurities. When you become confident in yourself and your sound and who you are and who God has created you to be, you won't feel obligated to always have to do things to make other people feel better about themselves. And I think this is such an important topic to talk about, especially if you're going through your teenage years or young adult years. It's so easy to want to please people, especially if you're a young professional. You know, the word imposter syndrome. You might deal with that where you feel a little bit less than at your job. So you try to do a little bit extra to make people happy, to boost their mood. But you should just be sound and happy with yourself. And when you can truly do that, I think people respect you and will not necessarily love you more, but they'll respect you more and treat you better. So people pleasing is something that I deal with because I love people to the point where I will I'll put people above myself, if that makes sense. I'll put other people above where I am. And in my season of content creation and growing a platform and being public on social media, both YouTube, podcasts, anywhere that you're listening, on Instagram. I have an Instagram for this podcast. It's called Soldier in Me, but I also have an Instagram for myself called Tonia Talks. And I wrote a book. So there's just so many things that I do that I often feel like will make other people feel not necessarily less of themselves, but I'm a do-it-all. And when I'm not surrounded around other do-it-all people, their limited mindset almost makes me feel like I'm doing too much or that I shouldn't be doing as much, or I try to dumb down myself to make other people feel good. And that's part of people pleasing. So I don't want you to be like that. I want you to be better than me. This podcast is literally for me to inspire you and to empower you to do better than me, because I'm not perfect. I'm nowhere near being perfect. And I'm trying my hardest in my young season to become my best self now, so that when I look back 10, 20 years, I'm like, wow, God, you have really molded that 20-year-old Tonia. And I want to be 30 and thriving like all of you. Okay. If you're in your 30s, hopefully you're already 30 and thriving. If you're still trying to work on yourself, that's okay too. I do think we should be working on ourselves every single day, no matter how old and no matter what our age is. But starting at a young age makes life a little bit easier. If you can become your most confident self in your 20s, then your 30s, you don't have to worry about your confidence, or hopefully you won't. So I just did a quick little Google search and made some notes on how to stop people pleasing. We talked about the root of people pleasing. It definitely stems from insecurities. And if you feel insecure, then you may need to start implementing things in your life so that you can improve those insecurities, whether that's working out, getting your body into just being more physically active so that you can be confident with the way you look and the way you feel. I'm a person that works out not because I'm trying to be slim, thick, snatch, all that kind of stuff. But if that's what you want, no judgment towards you. I do feel like no matter what you look like, you should have some kind of physical activity in your life so that you can look in the mirror and feel confident about yourself from the inside out. You want to feel good. You want to feel energetic. And then eventually, as you work out, of course, the outside appearance starts to change as well. Insecurities is definitely a root issue to people pleasing. I feel like if you're confident in yourself, you're not going to feel the need to want to please people. So number one, I would say set boundaries. It's so hard to set boundaries in this day and age because we have social media. So if you're like me and you're always in the limelight and you're always posting about what you're doing in your life, sometimes setting boundaries can be a little bit more difficult. And even if you're not on social media, setting boundaries can be difficult. But the thing about having social media is that people are almost always involved in your life, even when they don't really know exactly what's going on. They think they do. So it can be hard to set boundaries of when, you know, if you don't text them back or message them back or get with them and you're posting on social media, there's a little boundary conflict. You know, people see you posting, they think you're available, and that doesn't necessarily mean that's not really the case. So I have a really soft spot for my content creators where they feel like they can't draw that line between their life and having a career in the content world, because it really is a job. And for me, I look at it as a job. I treat it like a job. I do it as a hustle. So I'm learning right now how to set better boundaries with people and family and things in my life, and also just knowing when to cut off working and posting on social media so that I can be present and there for people that are important to me. And I think that that starts with identifying what is important to you. So make a list of the people in your life that matter the most, the ones that you're going to show up as soon as they, you know, ring your phone, you're going to answer on the first ring. Those are the people that you want to make more as a priority in your life. I don't think work should be our top priority. Now, things happen in seasons. So you may be in a season of your life where, okay, work might need to be a little bit higher up, because in order to be there for your people, your family, your friends, maybe you need to start working harder in your career so that you can make money and you can be there for them, so that you can go travel to see them. There was a season of my life where work has been the top priority, and I'm kind of in that season right now. And it's caused me to lose friends because people don't really understand where I'm at. And that's okay, but I think that the people that are there for you in that season, cherish them and put them a little bit higher in your priority list, or set some time to talk to them. My best way to set boundaries is car rides. When I'm in the car, I use that time to talk to people. I use that time to reach out to people, call them on the phone, hear their voices. That is a great time to set a boundary. So you're not working, you're driving, you're already commuting. Maybe not turn on the radio and listen to music, and just call a close family or friends so that you can catch up and connect with them. Number two, you want to prioritize your needs. I wrote this with a question mark, because you do want to make sure you prioritize your needs, but this is where you also want to set boundaries, because sometimes you have to put the needs of others before yourself. And I think that's where being a Christian comes into place, and being like Christ comes into place. Yes, prioritize your needs, but also there may be a time where you're not the important one in that moment. I'm learning this because I have always been a person that has been in my own world. I'm the middle child. But for me, life not necessarily has always revolved around me, but I've kind of gotten that mindset where I made it that way so that I wouldn't be left out. And it's crazy because now I'm learning that, okay, Tonia, not everything's about you. My social media platform can be about me, but in life, you don't want it to be that way. Maybe you need to recognize when it's times to worry about yourself, do your self-care, but then set aside time to actually be there for other people. But I do think that people pleasing can start and can be rooted from denying your own needs. You want to make sure that at some point you care about yourself. You know, when you feel good about yourself, you can make other people feel good about themselves. Oof. Avoid over apologizing. I over apologize a lot because I want people to like me. I want people to see that I'm a good person, where if you are a good person, what are we proving, right? What are we proving? What are we truly trying to prove just by over apologizing? If you're sorry and they don't take it the first time, that's on them, right? But if you truly are sorry, you shouldn't have to say it over and over again, or do this and do that and go above and beyond to make someone feel like you truly are sorry. If they don't believe it, then that's on them, and you have to keep it moving. Learn assertive communication. Assertiveness is a healthy way to express your needs while still respecting others. I'm working on this as well. But as far as assertive communication, I think that we just need to tell people how we really feel, which is sometimes the hardest thing to do. Telling people how we really feel. And as you grow older, you'll realize that sometimes people don't need to know how you really feel. Isn't that crazy? Sometimes you need to leave it between you and God. and let the Holy Spirit be the median between an issue. And even if that means losing someone or losing a family member or a friend for a period of time, or you step away from them, that's okay too. I think the one thing that I'm learning most in my 20s is that there's a lot of seriousness in this world that if we all just started to take a step back and we took our time before making big decisions, before cutting people off, and thought deeply, we should just be grateful. If we could just be grateful and see the good in every bad situation, I feel like we could all get over the fact of someone hurting us and needing to please them to make them not feel hurt. We're just so deep all the time. And if we look at the bigger picture and realize that we are all dealing with things, but we don't always all have to deal with it alone. One of my other things is to practice saying no. And instead of rushing into saying yes, I've been learning now to give space between your maybe and your final yes. So start off with a maybe, like, hey, let me look at my calendar. This may be a possibility, but I'm not 100% certain. I'm gonna come back when I'm able to confirm. And people may rush you. So you have to make sure that you are comfortable with yourself and being assertive to tell people, give me time. Even if you have to tell them over and over again, give me time. I'll get back with you when I'm ready. Life in our 20s is so hard. Life in general can be so hard. And I'm just one of those people where I just want to have fun. I truly just want to have fun. I just want to live life. I want to travel. I want to be with my family, hang out with my friends. But life has just been beating me down so much lately. And that's why I was telling you guys I was in a rut last week. And I'm so happy that God has been pulling me out of it and helping me to be more confident in myself again and getting back in the gym, getting my physical activity in, but also being able to stand here on my podcast and show up even when I don't exactly know what to say. So don't worry about people pleasing. Worry more about how you are as a person. I feel like to solve people pleasing as a whole, if you truly become your best self, you won't be worried about how people think of you or what people think of you. We talked about overthinking. We talked about self-doubt. I'm literally going to my YouTube channel right now. We talked about getting out of our feelings. We talked about mastering the mind. We talked about the meaning of a soldier. We talked about overcoming friendship and relationship hurt. We talked about how to create and stick to your healthy habits. We talked about becoming confident and consistent. We talked about the college experience, what's it like, and how to overcome and how to truly be successful in school, navigating uncertainties. And then we also talked about overcoming fear and creating your own path. Life does not have to be that hard. We just need to show up, and we need to show up as our best self. And if you make mistakes, don't be so hard on yourself. You don't have to please people and remind people that you're working on yourself. People should always know. And if they know you, they'll know that you're trying to grow. I'm sorry, I'm getting a little heated up here because I am one of those people who is constantly trying to be my best self. And it can be so daunting sometimes because we worry so much about becoming our best self instead of just truly loving ourselves for where we're at and finding people to love us for where we're at. We might hurt each other. We might hurt ourselves. But if we can just look at the bigger picture to see and hopefully see someone trying their best, maybe we can all live a more peaceful life. We make life so complicated. I hope my few tips that I gave you help you to stop people pleasing. I gotta go back to work. Hope you guys like my outfit. If you do, I'll link the clothes in the description box below. So go find the video on YouTube if you're listening on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. Go find the video on YouTube. If you wanna check out my outfit and buy this outfit, it's on Shein. It was very affordable. I paid for top to bottom like $40 for the entire fit. Anyways, I love you guys, but Jesus loves you even more. I hope the soldier in me brings out the soldier in you. I'll catch you next time in our next episode. Peace, love, and blessings. Have a great day and a great week. Bye. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm your host, Tonia Michele, and I'll see you next week in the Soldier in Me podcast. Love you guys. Bye.